Hi, this is Darren Marlia, CTO and founder of SDM Software. And in this video, I'm going to introduce you to the latest release of our group policy auditing and attestation product, version 2.0. And in this release, I'm especially proud to introduce, in addition to the features that have been in the product all along, including group policy change auditing and group policy change rollback, so the ability to roll back changes that go awry. And finally, group policy attestation, we've also introduced the ability to do Active Directory group attestation. So what I want to do is walk through that feature in this new release. So if you go in here under Manage Groups in the web interface for GPAA, you'll notice that we have the ability to search for groups that are inactive for attestation. So we differentiate between active for attestation, inactive, and then I'll talk about the delete queue in a minute. So let's say I want to set up my marketing users group for attestation. I'm going to go ahead and enter in the text for the group and let it search through my Active Directory domain to find the groups that start with the word marketing. And I'm going to select the marketing users group, and I'm going to make myself the owner, and I'm going to mark it active for attestation. Now that I'm active for attestation, you'll notice that it appears in the active section of the groups list. And if I go to my email, I'll notice that I have received a group attestation request. If I click on the HTML report within the email, the attachment, what you'll see are details about the group, including the type of the group, the created and modified date, where the group exists in Active Directory, any of the descriptions that might be available, and more importantly, the direct and indirect members of the group. So if there are any nested members or nested groups within the group, I'm given the full indirect membership of those group members. Now, if I go into the body of the email and click on the Complete Group Attestation option, I'll be taken to a special page on the website where I can attest for the group's membership. And I'll have the same detailed list here of groups and users. And I can attest to whether this group is accurate and required by my organization. And if not, I have the option to provide some comments around why I don't want this group anymore. And I can say I no longer need this group. And I also have the option of queuing this group for deletion. Now, as a user or as an owner of the group, I'm not actually able to delete the group, but I can tell my administrator that I want to queue it for attestation. So once I submit that attestation request, then as an administrator, what I can do is if I come in under Manage Groups, we just go back to our main page here and go to Manage Groups. If I come into the delete queue, I'll see any groups that have been requested for deletion, as in this one, and I can either delete it from right within the product out of Active Directory, or I can remove it from the list. In this case, I decided maybe that I really do want to keep this group around and maybe just reassign it to a different owner. Then I can do that within the product. There are also a number of options for configuring attestation, both for GPOs and for groups. You can control when attestation occurs, when a GPO or a group are activated, what happens when we detect new groups or GPOs. Do we attest them immediately to a specific user, or do we just treat them as an existing user or group? And the notification interval, the attestation interval for the operation. So it can be a year, a month, however many, whatever interval you want. And then you can also provide some text in the body of the email that explains the request. And this does support HTML tags, so you can format this email as you need to. Now, the other new feature that we've introduced in the 2.0 version of auditing and attestation relates to the auditing function, the group policy change auditing function. And specifically, we've added a nice feature that allows for DC status checking. So each domain controller that runs the auditing service reports back to the database that runs the group policy auditing and attestation or stores the data, and we can perform heartbeats on that and determine if the DC hasn't checked in after a certain period of time. And if it hasn't, then we're able to send alert emails so that you always know that a domain controller is in contact with the application and and reporting its change auditing events accurately. So these are just a couple of the new features we've introduced in GPAA 2.0, and I look forward to having you all give it a try and see what you think. You can go to the website for group policy auditing and attestation on our SDM software page under products and get a trial version of the product to check it out and see what you think.